when I finished it, I shall walk it through the city and see what the police say. Because actually in England you're allowed to get away with practically anything if it's eccentric. Or because you're doing it for charity. I was a little silent at the beginning of this, and I'll tell you why. Are there any people in the audience who are veterans, and there must be few of you now, like fewer than the veterans who fought in the First World War, who actually took part in the abortive Discworld American tour of 1986? Any of you? My God, they all died. It really was a terrible tour. I was flying backwards most of the time from hub to hub, and they'd pick the places where I signed with a pin, and Rocky Frisco actually shared a piece of cold pizza, I think it was, in a hotel that didn't serve food, and it was like the signing from hell, the signing tour that you all hate, and I swore never again. Then a little while after that, something happened. I never worked this out. My publisher got taken over by another publisher, or possibly it was the other way round. It's very hard to know, because publishers taking over other publishers is like two big pieces of jelly sliding together. And there's a lot of glooping noise. And there's a larger bit, but you don't quite know what's contained therein. And suddenly, I actually had an editor who was interested in my books. The wonderful Jennifer Brown, who phoned me up and told me of it, and she said, someone from the publishers has phoned me up for the first time. And I was doing famously all over the rest of the world, but let me have a chat. And they said, would you do another tour? And I said, hell no. But we worked out a modus operandi, as we Knights would put it, and the 2000 tour worked beautifully. And I think, apart from Seattle, because Seattle is always great. Every time I've gone to Seattle, my schedule has a little rectangle in it, like 1:30, 2:30. Terry has chowder. Because on one occasion I did a signing in Seattle and there wasn't time to go to Jack's in Pike Place Market, chowder. And I swore, a mighty oath, never again. On one occasion I was in Jack's eating chowder and I said, has anyone ever died of eating too much chowder? And they said, we're watching you. And that was a great tour. And we've had plenty of good tours since. And, you know, pretty much the American queues are about the same as the UK queues, which are about the same as the Australian queues. And even I don't quite understood why the New Zealand queues are so big. But I think possibly the sheep are involved. So, you know, it has got better. Yes, it is true that I have PCA, and it's a form of Alzheimer's. And it's a strange form. It's left me completely inarticulate. I cannot pronounce words like efflorescence. And it's more a kind of spatial thing. If you want some fun, watch me enter a revolving glass door. There's stuff coming and stuff going and shapes shifting, and you just kind of hang in there and rely on centrifugal force. And pretty much that's it. I never have yet put my shirt on upside down, only because that's actually quite impossible to do, however hard you try. But the hell with all that, you will say. Are you writing any more books right now? because now a very nice bunch of nerdy guys, thank God, have actually got Dragon Dictate working well for me. It makes the kind of, so there's a bunch of guys that put a kind of front end to it, which makes it far more usable. One of the first things we did was tip the vocabulary of all the Discworld books in, and it has algorithms which do enable it to do some of the work of recognition for itself. Of course, the book I'm writing now has got the Knack-Mack Feagle in it. And it really has problems with the word crivens. In fact, I gave up, it's cravens all the time. But we said we'll just get on with it and do a search and replace at the end. But it's actually, I don't know what's going to happen because I'm writing the book very fast. But actually it'd be very fast if I wasn't here talking to you now. You know, that's 8 days of writing time, I hope you realise. And I was amazing how fast it goes, you know, when it can keep up with me. And Tiffany Aiken is facing, you know, a really, really bad time, which is always a good start. And I think really that brings me to where we are now. I never dreamed that there'd ever be a US Discworld convention. My early years being published in America were truly horrible, as I've indicated, not because of the fault of anybody here. One edition actually had my name upside down, I think, on every other page. But those were the bad old days. But even so, I had a WorldCon guest of honour, and that was fun. But I feel really happy and privileged to be here today because I got a second chance, and there are not many of them in America, well, except for corrupt politicians. And something I never thought would happen is happening, and that makes me very, very cheerful. Now, a word about corsetry. It is not true that I am obsessed with corsetry. Well, actually, it began as a joke. When the Seamstresses Guild gave a magnificent party. It was, where was it? It was a sand, like Sanitarium, San Fernando, Sanatogen. San Diego. It was a nice one. I remember arriving, and there were some other authors there, and they were talking about how much they'd spent on their flight in, and they got really good deals with like Air India. It meant you had to eat a lot of rice and spend 3 days in Delhi, but it was cheap. And everyone was saying, you know, well, United was actually